just by way of a final introduction, let you know that in memory of our late honorary mayor, Johnny Grant, we hereby declare this John Cusack Day in Hollywood.
Hi, thanks very much. I'm so happy to be here talking to you, and I grew up in Evanston, Illinois, and when we weren't going to baseball games, there was a theater called the Varsity Theater, and it was an old revival house, and they would show double features. And Steve Pink and I, when we went to high school, and before that, my writing partner and friend, we used to go see all the double features of all the great filmmakers from the 50s and the 60s and 70s and the European filmmakers, and that's sort of where I fell in love with cinema. And I looked up and I thought, those guys telling these stories are pretty awesome, and what they're telling has meaning, and it was speaking to me, and I got to see all of these sort of legends that I got that I learned from, and I listened to all their stories. And so to come up here and see my name next to Gene Autry is very, very surreal. I keep thinking about that Kink song, Hollywood Boulevard, actually. But to the best of my knowledge, I've tried to screw my career up as much as I possibly could. But even with all my best efforts to screw it up, I managed to have lasting friendships, and some of my best friends I've ever met in the business. And I got to work with Rob Reiner, John Sayles. This is just a partial list of the people I was lucky enough to work with. Studs Terkel, John Mahoney, Cameron Crowe, Paul Newman, John C. McGinley, Stephen Frears twice, Angelica Houston, Annette Bening, Woody Allen twice, Alan Arkin 3 times, Dan Aykroyd twice. I got to write comedy for Dan fucking Aykroyd, pardon my language. But that, come on, how does it get better than that? I got to work with the great Jack Warden, Lily Tomlin, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino twice, Clint Eastwood twice, and he wrote the music for a movie that I produced with Grace Lowe, my partner. I got to work with Terry Malick, Nick Nolte, John Goodman in a Western that my dad wrote. I got to work with Billy Bob Thornton twice. I got to work with Spike Jonze. I had a patron like Joe Roth, who was probably the best friend anybody could ever have in the business, the best studio executive and producer and best friend you could ever have. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Susan Sarandon, Meryl Streep, Jack Black, one of the most talented guys in Hollywood, Bruce Springsteen, Ray Liotta, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, Sir Ben Kingsley, Marissa Tomei, Gong Li, directors like Roland Emmerich, Lee Daniels, and Nicole Kidman. And finally, I get to play a guy like Edgar Allan Poe, and with James McTeague, great director, and Luke, and a company like Relativity, Intrepid Pictures, who are putting it out with the absolute maximum integrity. So to be able to do all that, and to still be here, and to have friends like this is quite an honor. So thank you very, very much, and it's pretty wild to be out here. Thank you very much.
Well, it's time to unveil the star. Let's do it, and let's ask all of our speakers if they'd join us.